This is a Polaroid Model 230. Okay, so what's going on? I thought I would make this video right quick while I have this out. I just recently picked this up. This is a Polaroid Model 230, and it came with the flash, which is kind of cool. So, the way that this camera opens is you're going to take this lip right here, you're going to open that out. From here, you would take your viewfinder, that flips up. From there, you're going to go to right here. There's this little thing that has a number 1 on it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You're going to pick that up, and you can see the camera popped out just a smidget there. And then you can just pull it the rest of the way out, and now your camera is deployed. If you wanted to get rid of this cover, this flap right here, while you're using or inspecting or messing with the camera, there is a little middle tab right here, right there where my finger's at. Push that up, and the cover just slides right out. And we can set that out of our way, and that just makes it a little bit nicer, more convenient to use. I bought this camera for $10 from a yard sale. You can find these, and they range in cost greatly. They range from $10 up to a few $100s, depending on who's selling it, the condition it's in, if it's a rarer model. This particular one was made from 1967 to 1969. So, there is no longer film in production for this camera, with the exception of these people right here and this particular film type. It's not the best, but if you do have one of these and you do want to shoot with it, you can use that. I don't have any with me, so I can't show you how to load this camera. However, it's extremely expensive. It's about $10 per photo, and that's the cheapest you're probably going to find. You can find currently expiring film packs on eBay for hundreds of dollars. Actually, hundreds of dollars. It's not cheap, and yeah. So anyway, in order to open the back door, right there on the bottom. Yep, there we go. See that latch right there at the top? You're going to flip that latch down, and your film door will open. And you can see inside. Inspect your bellows, make sure there's no rips, tears, or any kind of damage. This particular one is in actually fantastic condition. Check your rollers. Your rollers are what break the chemical pouch and spread the chemicals over your undeveloped film so it can develop. What you would do is to use this red tab right here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but you would flip that up, and then you can pull your rollers out of the camera body. And what you would do from there is you would clean those with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, just to keep the chemicals from building up on the rollers. And these rollers are actually in really good condition. This camera overall is in fantastic condition considering what I paid for it. And then you would go to close it, and you would make sure that both sides latch if it had film in it, and there would be tabs that hang out right here that you would be able to pull your individual Polaroids out of. This model also takes a battery which actuates the shutter, so if you want to test the shutter, you would need to have a battery in here. This takes a 531 4.5 volt battery right there, right in here. You can still buy these batteries. They are about $12 a piece, or you can get conversion kits where you can run this on 3 AAA batteries. Otherwise, you can test the mechanical part of the shutter. In order to load the shutter, there's this lever right here, and it's got a number 3 on it. Push that down, and you can fire off the camera by pressing the red button on top of the camera right there. In order to focus this camera, there are 2 viewports. One is a viewfinder, and one is your focusing viewfinder. So if we look right here, you can see the 2 viewports. That's your focusing viewfinder, and that is your framing viewfinder. In order to focus this camera, you're going to look through the focus viewfinder, and you're going to see two images, and you're going to take your fingers and you're going to move this slider right here back and forth until there's two images lined up with each other. Then your camera's in focus, and you can finish framing your shot and take your shot through the viewfinder. This little knob right here, or this port right here, is actually the light sensor for the light meter, so the camera knows what settings to use in order for your film. To compensate for your film, you have this wheel right here on the bottom, and you just want to make sure that your ISO is correct to the film that you're using. The way that the flash mounts on this camera, if you look at our flash, right where my middle finger's at, there's a little lever there. You're going to pull that lever to one side. You're going to take this hook that's right here on the back of the flash mount, and there's a little divot on top of the camera right here. The flash hooks into there, you pull your lever, that depresses the spring, and then your flash mounts onto the camera. You would take your cord, and that mounts into the side of the camera at the front, right there. And you would push that in until you hear a click. I don't know if my camera picked that up, but it's in there. And this particular flash takes flash bulbs. If you're not familiar with flash bulbs, they're little single-use bulbs, and that's it. This camera does require the battery in order to operate the flash, the shutter mechanism, and the light meter. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Otherwise, I don't have much else to say about this camera. It's a really cool looking camera. I am disappointed that you cannot find film for this camera anymore. It is a really cool camera, and I was actually looking forward to being able to shoot with it after seeing that it was mechanically sound. However, oh well, better luck next time. In order to close the camera, this little tab right here on top, this metal tab on top of the camera, it actually tells you to press to close. So you press that down, and then you can compress your camera by hand. That compresses back into the body. Flip your viewfinder down, and then your cover would go back on. There we go. Close. There we go. Ready for storage, ready for carry, ready for transportation. I want to talk a little bit about the particular film that you can still get for this camera, and I think I mentioned it already. It's extremely expensive. It's $10 per photo. It is handmade from a startup company out of Vienna. Based off of what I've read and from the videos that I've watched, this film is not that great. It is still better than absolutely nothing if you wanted to use one of these cameras, or just familiarize yourself with this camera. The biggest problem that I've seen that this film has is that it's single use, or that's the wrong term to use, but you have single photo packets. So the original film packets for this had multiple exposures per pack, and the startup company is only able to do individual exposure packs. So you'd have to reload it every single time you wanted to take a photo. The issue with that particular film is that the chemical pouch, or the chemical packet that's with the film in order for the film to actually instant develop, disperses inconsistently. So you don't get perfect square, perfect edges on your Polaroids. You might get half a photo, 3/4 of a photo, or just rough edges. It's really inconsistent. It doesn't go out the same way every time. And that might not be a problem for you. You might like that look. You might like that old, really retro look, and that's fine. I don't have any with me at the time. I probably will order some eventually, and when I do, we'll test it out on video together. But for the time being, this is going to be a piece that goes up on my shelf just to look cool. And just be part of my collection because I think it's a cool looking camera and it's a cool piece of history. And that's it. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy these videos. I'm able to produce these videos as easily as I am for now because I am actually in the process of working with these items or moving stuff around, or in the process of creating videos and creating content. So I'm able to stop for a moment to record these videos and to produce these while I'm doing that. And that works out pretty well for the time being. And yeah, with that said, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.